with all blessings to all the seekers of the truth. Today, on this sacred occasion, as the world comes together to celebrate yoga, let us pause and ask from the depths of our being, why do we need yoga? This is not a question of body alone. This is the soul's question. This is the cry of the soul that's veiled in layers of forgetfulness. Yoga is the return to our true self. In the rush of this world that we are living in, we forget who we are. We think we are the name, we think we are the form, and we think we are the role, and we think all the stories. But the Upanishads declare, Tattvamasi, thou art that. Deep within us dwells the divine. Absolute awareness, blissful presence, and eternal light. But now to reach the light, we must first silence the noise. And that is why we need yoga. Yoga is not a new trend. It is not a new fashion. Yoga studios are something that are new. In our ancient Gurukul system, yoga studios have always been there. It is the oldest science of the soul. A gift from the Bharat Varsha. It's a gift from India, offered not just to a set of people, but to all humanity in this universe. Let us still the mind, know the self. The Patanjala Maharshi gave the definition thousands of years ago. Yogaschitta vritti nirodha. Yoga is the cessation of the fluctuations of the mind. Now we should understand why is the mind restless. Because it runs behind pleasures. It reacts to the pains. It fears losses. It craves for gain. We all live on the surface and we start calling it a life. But deep within us, there is a sea of stillness, that which is waiting to be touched. Now, the yoga is the bridge for that. Yoga is the oar. Yoga is the boatman. And yoga is the crossing. Yoga is the art of living in the God. In the Bhagavad Gita, Lord Krishna says, Samatvam yoga uchyate, which means yoga is balance. When we sit in asana, we are balancing the body. When we breathe consciously, we are balancing the prana. When we meditate, we are balancing the mind. And when we offer everything, that's becoming an offer to the divine. And we are balancing the ego itself. Then we live not as an individuals of burden, but as the instruments of the Ishvara, flowing with grace. And why should we need yoga in our daily life? Let's understand this. Because life is not just about doing something or anything. It's about the being. You may earn, you may build, you may travel, you may be successful in this world. But without knowing who you are, it is, please note it down, it is like decorating a house that you never live in. This is the reason why yoga is needed. Yoga brings you back home to the heart, to the silence, and to the sacred. Yoga is freedom while living. The Shveta Upanishad, it very clearly mentions when the senses are stilled, the mind is quiet, and the intellect is in rest. Then begins the highest path. The path is yoga. The path is yoga. It is the path of the mystic. It is the path of the love. It is the path of compassion, and it is the path of surrender. It is the journey from the outer world to the inner sky. And today, the world needs yoga now more than ever. In an age of anxieties, in an age of stresses, in an age of panic attacks, it is only the yoga that brings peace. In a time of division, yoga reminds us, Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam. The whole world is one family. In a time of noise, yoga teaches us the power of inner stillness. Let's remember, this is not a luxury. Yoga is not a luxury. This is the need of the soul. This is the call of our times. And let's remember that let yoga not be a practice, but it is a way of life. Let every breath be a prayer. Let every step be a sadhana. Let every act be done in awareness. And let the body become a temple, and the breath, the incense, and the mind, the very, very prayer room or the altar of the Lord. My beloved seekers, may yoga lead you from restlessness to realization, from fragmentation to fulfillment, from the ego self to the eternal self. Let us not just do yoga, let us become yoga. And let us remember, the need for yoga is to remember who we are. We are not merely the body that is born, that ages, and that dies. We are not the ever-shifting emotions, nor the fleeting thoughts. Deep within us lies a still radiant truth, the self, the Atma, untouched by sorrow of the fear. But in daily life, what's happening? We are forgetting. We identify with the noise of the world, the burden of the roles, and the bondages of the desires. Yoga is the ancient science of remembrance, of returning to our true nature, the SathChith Ananda, the truth, existence, and the truth and the conscious bliss. It is to silence the mind and awaken the soul is what we need to remember. To harmonize the human and the divine that is well lying deep within us. In each of us, the human and divine coexist. Our fears, anger, and cravings are human, but our compassion, our silence, our love, and our awareness is divine. Both the qualities that we hold. Yoga is the alchemy that refines the human and reveals the divine within us. It is the ladder from instinct to the intuition, from reaction to the realization. And in again Bhagavad Gita, I would like to reiterate that in the 6th chapter, 5th sloka, Krishna Paramatma says, Uddharet Atmanatmanam. Life, lift yourself by your own self. There is no one that's going to come and help you, and the yoga helps you for that. To free ourselves from suffering, we seek peace, yet we chase pleasures. To free ourselves from suffering, we seek love, yet we hold expectations. To free ourselves from suffering, we seek truth, yet resist stillness. Suffering comes from identification with the body, emotions, name and narratives. Yoga is not an escape from life, but a transformation of it through discipline, breath, devotion and awareness. You know what yoga says? Yoga says, be in the world, but not of it. Let's remember this. And yoga is to touch the eternal in the everyday. Every breath, every sunrise, every heartbeat is divine. It cannot be into palpitations of the panic attacks. And this can be your every breath, every sunrise of you, every heartbeat of you is divine only when you awake to it. And yoga transforms every ordinary act, walking, eating, speaking, into the sacred rituals. Yoga is the bridge between the finite and the infinite. It sanctifies the body as a temple, the breath as a prayer, and the mind as a mirror to the soul. And yoga is to live in wholeness and freedom. Moksha, the liberation, is not a post-death destination. It is a living freedom. Yoga, moksha is a living freedom from fear, from clinging, from unconscious way of living. Yoga is the daily doorway into inner vastness, where one is no longer tossed by circumstances, but anchored in silence. Shveta Upanishad, as we remember that when the senses are stilled, the mind is quiet and the intellect rests, then begins the highest yoga. Let's be into that path of that yoga. And in a world full of noise, this yoga is silence. In a time of speed, yoga is stillness. In a life of roles, yoga is realness, is what we need to understand. The need for yoga is not just physical wellness. It is the soul's calling to return to itself, the divine that lives in the cave of this heart. The Hrit Padma is what we need to understand. And this is what we need to look at yoga, not as something that we just need to be doing. Jai Hind, Dhanyavad to all of you for joining.